India is a melting pot of many cultures. From the snow-capped Himalayas to its sun-baked plains, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, it is home to many people. They speak in many languages. They dress differently, eat differently, and worship different gods. India is one country where the chiming of temple bells, the calls of Allah and Vaheguru, prayers to Jesus Christ and Lord Buddha may be heard together. People of many faiths live here together in happy harmony as one family. Unity in diversity. India is a true example of that. A Punjabi may relish sarson ka saag, and coconut dishes may be the choice of a Malayali. Yet, whether one dances to the beat of the Assamese Bihu or the Gujarati Garba, there is an intrinsic oneness in them. They are all Indian. At times we suffer setbacks, but we always bounce back with renewed vigor as issues that divide us get lost in the richness of our unifying culture. In the midst of it all, there is one group of people who always lives up to the true ideal of unity in diversity, the Indian Army. Soldiers from the cool climes of the hills up north, the hot and dusty central plains, and from the palm-fringed coastline down south, march in unison to the beat of one tune, India. From the four corners of India, people following different faiths come here to learn a new religion, how to be a good Indian soldier who is willing to live and die for Mother India. In the army, there are no reservations on the basis of caste, creed, color, or faith. Those who come to join must measure up to only one yardstick. They must be physically fit and mentally alert to undergo the rigors of a soldier's life. As they train, recruits of all faiths face the same hardships together, living in tents, partaking of the same food, and sharing the same loneliness and longings for home. They imbibe faiths and forge new bonds, bonds which transcend the narrow barriers of caste, creed, race, or religion, and helping them rediscover the essential oneness of all religions is the Institute of National Integration.
The Institute of National Integration imparts training to officers, JCOs, and religious teachers of the Army, highlighting our rich cultural heritage, the spirit of tolerance and brotherhood. The training at the Institute, inter alia, encompasses study of all major religions and aspects of Indian culture to achieve mutual respect, understanding, and national unity.
Even as we go about doing 100 things to do with the business of living, they do their job standing guard over our frontiers, on rugged mountains and freezing glaciers, in dense jungles and sandy deserts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in all the 4 seasons. When natural calamities strike or things go awry, it is the army which comes to the rescue with relief, food supplies, and medical aid for the civilian population. The Indian Army men joined the civil authorities in rescue and relief operations after the devastating earthquake in Latur, gave relief to flood victims in Punjab, brought essential supplies to the local population in Rajouri. And took health care to the people in the remote northeast. And there are times when the Indian soldier is called upon to keep peace abroad, away from home for months, undergoing hardships for the honor of his country, to keep the Indian flag flying. An Indian peacekeeping force was sent to Sri Lanka in July 1987 to oversee the implementation of the Rajiv Jayawardena Accord to resolve the island nation's ethnic crisis. More than 50,000 Indian troops tried for over 2 years to bring peace to our troubled neighbor. More recently, Indian troops were in Somalia, on the east coast of Africa, on a United Nations mission to keep peace. At the end of a successful mission, they won the gratitude of the Somalian people and praise from the army chief.
मुझे बहुत फख्र है कि आप लोगों ने इस काबिलियत के साथ विदेश में हिंदुस्तान का और हिंदुस्तानी फौज का झंडा इतना ऊंचा और बुलंद रखा है। यूएन का दिया हुआ काम पूरा हुआ और साथ के साथ सोमालिया के जो जनता थी उसके साथ आपके बहुत अच्छे ताल्लुकात रहे। इन कामों के लिए आपको पूरी इंडियन आर्मी और पूरे हिंदुस्तान का बधाई है।
But do we ever stop to think that the soldier too is a human being, a person of flesh and blood, a citizen with dreams like us all? He too has a family, a mother who awaits the return of her warrior son, a dutiful wife who must be a father to his children as well, and kids who do not know who can help them with their homework and share the joys of growing up. Many a Jawan and officer have to stay on the front line for months together. Many of them have to go without a posting to peace areas for rest and recreation. Others are able to live with their families only once in a blue moon during their annual leave.
The soldiers, they bear a lot of privation, and they have almost no privacy. They have to live together for extended period, and there are not enough facilities, accommodation facilities available. Then they are away from the family for almost a year or 10 months, and since it is an area with difficult communication, the letters which they get are also delayed. Their leave is also a problem because the convoys take a long time, so the number of people we are able to send on leave is less, and that affects morale. However, a unit which keeps its efficiency up, they are generally able to tackle this problem.
यहाँ पे हमें बहुत सारी दिक्कतें हैं। सबसे पहले कि हमें यहाँ पर आने और जाने का प्रॉब्लम होता है। मेरा फैमिली बच्चे गढ़वाल में है। यहाँ से हमें तकरीबन 7 स्टेट पार करके यहाँ आना होता है। 6-7 दिन हमें यहाँ पर लगते हैं।
मेन प्रॉब्लम ये, अगर छुट्टी से छुट्टी 10 दिन या 12 दिन की छुट्टी जाएँ तो पूरा टाइम जो है रास्ते में कंज्यूम हो जाता है, क्योंकि ट्रेन की कोई ऐसी वो नहीं है, और यहाँ से कॉन्वॉय में रेस्ट्रिक्शन है। कॉन्वॉय जो है हफ्ते में 1 दिन या कभी 15 दिन में एक बार जाती है, तो आदमी का काफ़ी टाइम यहाँ व्यतीत हो जाता है, और रास्ते में जिस काम के लिए घर में उसको बुलाया गया उस काम में जाने में उसका प्रॉब्लम होती है।
I've been away on number of occasions, and usually I'll be lucky if I'm with my family for more than a year and a half, and especially in the last 6 to 7 years, my postings have taken place within that period, within a year and a half. एक मिसाल दूंगा, जैसे कि my eldest son वो 10वीं क्लास में है और ये उसका 11वां स्कूल है।
How do they feel about it? Anxious about the child who plays truant, worried about that leaking roof, concerned about the aged parents, or a host of other problems back home. And how about the families themselves? How do the wives cope with all those manly problems when the head of the family is away fighting a war to keep peace? In many ways, the army does look after the financial needs and basic comforts of the families of soldiers away fighting insurgents or killed in action. But in countless other ways, the wives and children miss the head of the house.
You know, it's more like, a family being brought up in a single-parent home, where the father is a distant blur somewhere. You know, he's nowhere around to tackle things day to day when there is a problem, And of course, there's a lot of physical discomfort because every little thing I have to attend to. There's nobody who's really sharing any responsibility of small little day-to-day activities like going and paying a telephone bill or buying things from the market or going and attending the parent-teacher meeting for the children. Everything I have to attend to. And of course, besides, there's, the very important thing about children growing up without the father being there. There are so many times where you feel that if he was there to guide them about certain things. I have a growing son who's about 16, and I do feel that there's a lot missing out of our lives.
दुखी तो हम लोग बहुत हैं मैडम, कभी कभी तो रोना आता है, अंदर ही अंदर हर रोती है, चिट्ठी नहीं आती तो भी रोती है, बहुत दुखी है, बहुत दुखी।
क्या दुख है बताइए?
यही एक तो बच्चों का प्रॉब्लम है, पैसा कम है हम लोगों का। अभी एक सिपाही एक हवलदार की तनख्वाह मान 2-2-2.5-3 हज़ार से ऊपर नहीं है, 2-2.5 हज़ार थे, 2500-2600 से ऊपर नहीं हम लोग की थे। तो उसमें से उनको भी अपना राशन का उसका थोड़ा बहुत खर्चा चाहिए, हमारे लिए भी आता है।
चाहे आधी रात हो चाहे दिन हो, कुछ भी हो, हमको खुद बच्चे को उठा के या रिक्शा करो, कुछ भी करो, ऑटो रिक्शा, खुद हमको जाना पड़ता है। और ऐसे भी है कि आधी रात में मैं खुद ही ले गई हूँ 2:30 बजे भी बच्चे को गोदी में उठा के पेट दर्द में।
उनको बच्चों की पढ़ाई की वजह से बाहर जाना पड़ रहा है बार बार। अभी बच्चे बड़ी क्लास में चले गए, साथ भी नहीं जा सकते हैं ना, अभी बच्चों को पढ़ाना है।
I had to undergo an operation for which I needed support from my husband and he was not there. Like I had to go to the hospital alone and get admitted with very small children at home, leaving them with the neighbors. So most of the things one has undergone alone, you know, the tensions. Of course, all is well that ends well, but otherwise it's too much for us to bear.
Even as the families do their best to tend their homes and hearts, the Indian soldier today is fighting a new enemy within, who looks no different from the people he is fighting to save. The soldier is trained to fight an enemy who wears a different uniform and carries a different flag. But in the lush valley of Kashmir, as he patrols the thickly populated towns, he does not know from which window or corner a gun would spit fire, or where a sniper would be lurking. In Kashmir, they live constantly under the shadow of a tension which may have a psychological impact on them and tend to make them trigger happy. But thanks to their training, it happens very rarely. However, time and again, the soldier in uniform faces baseless charges of human rights violations against the very militants he is fighting. General Shankar Roy Chowdhury, who looks at the situation in Kashmir as a proxy war, was himself in the valley to motivate his men to exercise restraint.
There have been reports of alleged violations of human rights by troops. I must tell you that in a very large number of cases, these have been found to be false and motivated. However, where these charges have been substantiated, we have taken extremely harsh action to ensure that justice is done and these acts are not repeated. We have had a comprehensive program of educating all ranks of the army before their induction into counterinsurgency areas to ensure that human rights are complied with.
Human rights का मतलब बहुत आसान है. हिंदुस्तानी में उसको शराफत कहते हैं. शराफत समझते हो? शराफत समझते हो? लड़ाई करोगे दुश्मन के साथ, लेकिन ये ऐसी लड़ाई है जहां पे सिविलियन बहुत हैं, खास तौर पे औरत हैं, बच्चे हैं. तो जैसे हम लोगों को घर में सिखाया जाता है, हमारे माँ बाप सिखाते हैं, शराफत से उनसे पेश आओ, शराफत से पेश आओ, समझे? ह्यूमन राइट्स का और कोई मतलब नहीं.
The enchanting beauty and serenity of the 7 states of the Northeast is often disturbed by ethnic clashes and insurgency. A large number of insurgent groups are active, and the situation is quite tough. General Roy Chowdhury was equally sure about the Army's ability to check extremist activity in the region.
There are a large number of insurgent organizations operating in the Northeast. There have been a large number of incidents in the Northeast in various states, and the Army, along with the other security forces, is doing a good job in combating them. They are aware that they are there in aid of the civil authorities to bring down the level of violence and to ensure a degree of peace and prosperity for the inhabitants of those far-flung areas.
But is the army today attracting the best of talent? With the private sector offering high pay and perks in the current climate of economic liberalization, the fight against market forces is tough indeed. The Army Chief outlined several steps which have been initiated to improve the service conditions and get the best into the Army. The Army is using its own resources to make the service more attractive. The Indian Army today is a well-oiled fighting machine, thanks to a host of institutions which train them for a variety of jobs, from soldiers to doctors, engineers and technocrats. Armed Forces Medical College at Pune, which trains civilian candidates for induction into all the three services, now encourages children of the armed forces to join it. The college not only provides specialization courses, but is also a major research and referral institution. College of Military Engineering at Pune is another premier institution which trains officers in advanced combat engineering, NBC warfare, camouflage, bomb disposal, and handling computers, among other things. Officers from friendly foreign countries are also trained here. The Army Institute of Technology at Pune, set up by the Research and Development Establishment engineers, from this session is training children and wards of Army men to become engineers. The National Defence College in New Delhi is one of the world's best higher defence institutions. Established on April 27, 1960, its motto is "Power to those with knowledge and wisdom." It also trains senior representatives from civil administration, the discipline of defence management. It attracts students from several foreign countries, including America and Europe. At the infantry school at Mao, senior army commanders gather periodically to review the progress and capabilities of the infantry. The school imparting training in the contemporary weapon systems is considered a cradle of leadership for junior officers. These institutions of the Army do not produce robots or fighting machines. At the end of it, a soldier comes out a better human being, a complete man. He has only one religion: to be a good Indian soldier. He has only one goal: to preserve and protect the integrity and sovereignty of his country. He has only one aspiration: to keep India's tricolour flying.
है।